All right. My name is Mazhar Hussain, and I am the big data leader in the big data space working for HP. And today I will be presenting a talk on the analytics and how is analytics used in the operational and IT operational solutions and problems. So that's what the topic is today for me, and I will be sharing that discussion with you here.
All right, thank you so much. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, I think what I will be sharing today is something on the very interesting area from the analytics on the IT ops side. I can just refer some of the interesting, dynamics which is happening. A brief introduction on me. I'm heading up the Big Data Initiative at HP, and before that, I was at SAS. I started career like 10 plus years ago in the analytics, when the analytics was very simple kind of BI reporting and we were using statistics. SAS is like almost 30 plus year in this business. And all of a sudden I've seen a big evolution of this whole area. Even I was reading some statistic the other day. This quarter, I think they've passed the numbers from 2000 in the funding in the big data analytics area. So this was the largest funding ever happened from the VCs in this last quarter, some of the statistics reported by the Wall Street. So this area is growing very interestingly. There's a lot of players that are coming in. We have seen lots of dynamics with the big companies who jumped into that, such as HP and IBM. And it's becoming a pretty interesting area. Analytics is a pretty interesting kind of concept, but it's not new. It's very old. If some of you are traveling, you happen to be in Istanbul, if you go there in their old market or the old bazaar, and if you walk around and you see a very interesting phenomena there, and they're doing analytics, and they've been doing this for hundreds of years. The guy, he comes to you from the carpet shop, he talks to you which hotel you're staying, are you a visitor here, which country you came from, and do a very quick analysis. And then he kind of gauge you into the carpet shop. And once you're in there, and he takes to the exact place which is in your target market, because he already assessed you're here as a tourist, you are from US, you're staying in Sheraton, and how long you're here, vacationing, blah, blah, blah. And he calculated all those things and taken to the right place, and that he has done analytics. So, so we are taking that to the next level of the machines. As a matter of fact, in HP labs, we are even putting together hospitals. The new way the hospital will be, treating the patients, the diseases, and really saving the lives. We have done a very interesting use case with the Lucid Packard Hospital here, where we can save the infant's life, looking at the behaviors and things like that. And also, we have done a very interesting use case with the drug companies such as BASF, where we're saving the food in this world. We were looking at a very large Latin American country where they are kind of looking at their drug. We're taking the pictures from satellite, running through our autonomy and Vertica tool, processing those pictures, trying to tell them exactly where the disease is on the leaf. And then with pattern of behaviors of weather, we're telling them where this disease is going to spread and how they can educate the farmer to spread the pesticide before the disease happens. So that really is a saving in the food in the world when we are growing to almost 6+ billion people. And that's a very interesting use case which really touches. Another one is also in the IT ops, which I like to bring up with the Boeing. The Boeing flight takes over from SFO into JFK, 6+ hours or close to that. And by the time Boeing landed there or even in the air, we have taken all the data from the sensors, and we are exactly telling Boeing which pattern it can go on the lower or higher on the, altitude, also the pattern and behavior. By the time the flight is landed, so that's a saving of fuel. By the time flight landed, we have done a predictive analytics and telling them exactly which part they will replace before the plane goes on the ground. And the air industry, any plane goes on ground is a big loss for the airline industry because they like to keep planes running. So there was a big saving, and Boeing was just shocked, the money we have shown them in saving saving the fuel, time, and those kind of things. So like I said, it's a very interesting area. It's growing, and this growth is spectacular. So I will be talking about some of those very interesting, analysis here. We call 3 V's, which you are familiar with that: volume, velocity, variety in terms of the complexity in terms of the data. and the way data is becoming, increasingly complex with the virtual and cloud environment, where our IT setup is, the whole fabric is becoming dynamically important and interesting when people are using the VMs, you're collecting the data, the sensor example I've given you in case of Boeing earlier as well, and the hybrid environment we are operating. So this complexity is driving furthermore how to really, come up and attack that challenge. The challenge is you're seeing automation, complexity, and also the specificity on that, and how this challenge is causing us to use the power of machines. And then related examples in robotics, also in terms of the medical, like I given you an example, we have a complete suite of, you walk into the HP labs, we have literally a next generation hospital. How the patient has been treated, what kind of sensors, and all those things, everything is run by machines there. So this is really, the gist here is how the brains of humans, like the example I've given you, Istanbul, are really calculating those things, making the decision more powerful, and machines are really helping there. So taking this challenge to the next level and now bringing in the interactive analytics. So the point I like to make here is taking the automation and how you can specify that exact problem, and you can lower the problem, and you can really eliminating that challenge and turning into monetization. So what I like to show here is the anomalies and the pattern. The key of, like the example where I started, very simple, in case of that salesperson, a street guy from the carpet shop, calculating everything in their brain. So what you're doing this thing, you're putting in everything, the example you've seen from the Watson, some of the things we're running in the HP labs as well, or in our portfolio, is how to really analyze those patterns, how to really take the business, the decisions, and which are appropriate decision before the problem happens. Like the example I've given you in case of Boeing. Before the plane really landed, you know exactly which part you have to replace before it goes to the ground, and you can really be doing a predictive and prescriptive kind of thing and trying to help there as well. And now, there was a big example like last year, one of the airline industries reservation system went down, and there was a glitch in there because there were some logs, they've updated some of the software, and that software was not calibrated correctly, and the whole system went down, and they lost millions of dollars. So that's what the gist of ops analytics or operational analytics comes into. So what you're seeing here is we have developed some very unique kind of technology, very patent technology, where we're looking at the different scenarios, such as going through those different clustering, analyzing those, like the way that carpet guy was doing. We are doing everything is the machine. Machine is doing all those analysis and predicting, and very precisely predicting. The important thing is here is how is your predictive coefficient, how accurately you can predict, and that is the key here. All right. The next thing I like to show here is the example I was giving earlier on the airline reservation system. 70% of the IT budget spent on keeping the lights on. People like to see and avoid the downtime. The game is whoever is up and running, they have the customers, and they will make money. So the key thing here is looking at the problem, how serious the problem is, and then what is causing the problem, where the problem is originated, and what kind of tools and what kind of mechanism I have to really impact that thing before it becomes siloed, and monitor that thing in a monitoring sensor, the sensor example I've given you earlier. And similar thing, of course, in terms of the analyzing and also predicting that future, and then implementing that. So identifying the right root cause, lacking that visibility, and then decreasing those silos and trying to impact those that you are really impacting those and helping. So the gist of that is, what is here? The IT ops, we call it, predictive. You're looking at collecting data, and then you're storing that data in the events and correlations, some of those algorithms I've shown you earlier. And then you're looking at those millions of logs in a very quick time frame. Like the reservation example I've given, they could not detect that because they have so many logs. It's very difficult, monumental work. By the time people look at all human being into those logs, it's impossible. So we have created some very unique algorithms where we can look at those logs automatically, and we detect that, we generate the alert, and the people who are sitting in the data center, they know exactly what's going to happen because we looked at the historical data, and based on that, we're predicting which machine goes bad, what kind of logs will be generating, and then they will do a corrective action before the downtime happens. Because when the downtime is happened, it's already happened. So the key goal here is the end game is before that downtime happens, the outages happen. You're trying to impact those, and that's what the saving is for any company. So the new approach in the operational analytics, what is that? We call the new IT in HP. You're collecting millions of those logs, events, metrics. Then you're storing those in the storage is becoming very cheap these days, Hadoop, and those kind of different systems you're using. We are using Vertica database, which is a very fast analytical database along with Hadoop. And then you're running those algorithms, which I've shown you earlier, and your unique techniques to really analyze those. And rather than humans, machines are looking at that. And they're analyzing for humans. And then, of course, the human talents comes in, the subject matter expert. And as time goes along, those machines are becoming more calibrated, and they can do one precise predictiveness than what they were doing. We call learning and realigning kind of thing. That is already happening with this kind of pattern as well. So with this one, I'd just like to thank you guys here. Any questions, I'm more than happy to answer on that, regarding predictive or the IT ops.